Sonnet 83 by William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616. I never saw that you did painting need, and therefore to your fair no painting set. I found, or thought I found, you did exceed the barren tender of a poet's debt, and therefore I have slept in your report, that you yourself being extant might well show how far a modern quill doth come too short, speaking of worth, what worth in you doth grow. This silence for my sin you did impute, which shall be most my glory, being dumb. For I impair not beauty, being mute, when others would give life and bring a tomb. There lives more life in one of your fair eyes than both your poets can in praise devise. Okay, this is another sonnet. He's talking to the fair youth again. This is another rival poet sonnet. This is talking about the rival poet, and this is Shakespeare again defending the fact that he doesn't use overblown language with the describing the fair youth. He doesn't go over the top. He doesn't use hype, and it seems that perhaps the fair youth has criticised him and saying that the other poet, or the other poet, but I think in this case the other poet, praises me much more than you. He writes much more florid language, much more flowery language about my beauty. And Shakespeare's telling him, but you know you're beautiful. You don't need over the top language, overblown, overdone language to tell you your beauty. And this is why I have never gone over the top, because you are so beautiful that your beauty goes further than any description a poet might put together. And this is why I haven't been doing this. And I think in the long term you will come to realize that people who are describing you by going over the top, they don't do your beauty a service. And the reason is that you are just such a so beautiful that you are more beautiful than anything any poet could invent in their poetry. So let's see. I never saw that you did painting need. So I never thought that you needed painting. You needed more than your beauty was, more description than that your beauty was. Because in this day and age, and in many other ages as well, when people painted a portrait, they made people look better than they really were. They take out the warts and the spots and the all of the things. And Shakespeare's saying, I never thought you needed me to exaggerate your beauty, to put makeup on your face. You're already beautiful. And therefore, to your fair, no painting set. And therefore, I didn't paint. I didn't go over the top with my descriptions of how beautiful you were. I didn't gild the lily. Because you're already so beautiful, and I couldn't use flowery metaphors when you're already that beautiful, because it was not necessary. I found, or thought I found, you did exceed the barren tender of a poet's debt. So I discovered, I realized, I thought that you were better than the barren tender, the empty offer that a poet owes to a beautiful subject. So I thought you were more than an empty offer that is made by a poet. I thought you were more beautiful than the words a poet could write about. I thought you were not worth, or it was not right to hype your beauty. And here, this barren tender, I think this is echoing the sonnets at the beginning, where Shakespeare's trying to persuade the fair youth to have a child, to preserve his beauty. A barren tender, barren without children, and I think he's playing with that idea as well. But I thought your beauty was more than the empty offer that a poet should that might make to you. And therefore I have slept in your report, and that's why I haven't gone over the top when talking about you. But I think you could read this line two ways. In your report you say that I've been sleeping on the job. Yeah, I think here I have a feeling that this poet was a comment by the fair youth to Shakespeare, saying, the other poet, he compliments me much more than you do. He writes much more beautiful things about me. And therefore have I slept in your report, and this is why I haven't written flowery things. That you yourself, being extant, might show how far a modern quill doth come too short. And I am right. I think I am right to do this, because you yourself, being extant, you exist, you're here, and if somebody looks at you, then it will be very, very clear how modern poetry falls short of how beautiful you really are. And I wouldn't want to describe you, because some piece of modern poetry would show up. One look at you would show up how bad modern poetry about you was. Doth come too short, speaking of your worth, what worth in you doth grow. So anything that a poet writes would be wouldn't be right, and it would show up how bad the style is. The silence for my sin you did impute, and here this Shakespeare is saying you accused me of being silent. You accused me that I was wrong to not to use overblown poetry to describe you. For I impair not beauty, being mute, but by remaining silent, I don't hurt your beauty, I don't damage your beauty, because I think the other poet is using flowery language, and people can see that this is ridiculous when they actually see you. When others would give life and bring a tomb. So I don't go over the top, I don't impair your beauty, I don't harm your beauty, where others who go over the top, who use this language, would bring a tomb, would kill the description, that their description is actually it kills the poetry, it kills the reality of the beauty, because it's just unbelievable, and the reality is much more believable, and you really are beautiful, and therefore reality is a better description. There lives more life in one of your fair eyes. So in one of your eyes there's more life than both your poets can in praise devise. And you possess more life, more beauty, more life energy than both your poets, or any or all of your poets, could invent by praising you. And therefore, I try to use plain words to describe exactly how you are, and I don't go over the top. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Sonnet 83 by William Shakespeare.